My name is Norio Hayakawa, and tonight it's my privilege to be here. I have a tremendous sense of this mission because either this fall, 1994, or next fall, 1995, or possibly in the fall of 1996, one of these 3 years, I'm convinced, that we'll have an unprecedented worldwide incident that can change the entire structure of society. I'm wearing this cap. It says Groom Dry Lake, Area 51 Test Facility. The reason why I'm wearing this is to make everybody aware that there is such a place. Area 51 exists in Nevada. We only have about 2 more months before we can see the facility. As Anthony has indicated, October 1st may be the closing date. That may be the date where all persons will be forbidden to climb the only 2 remaining hills that belong to public land, so that anybody will be unable to see the Groom Lake facility. We may have only 2 more months. I'm convinced that a secret international cabal will stage a fake extraterrestrial type of an event or threat, artificial threat, creating worldwide panic in order to bring about a new world order upon the ashes of American sovereignty. Let me tell you that the technology required in orchestrating such a series of staged events is now being readied at Area 51. Stage number 1 has already been conducted. They are just waiting for the second stage, and I think that's going to happen after October 1st. Area 51 right now is very, very quiet. There's no activity. The reason being is that they're waiting till October 1st before they start the second stage of the project. Because right now people are climbing over those 2 remaining hills that overlook the Groom Lake facility. Now, Area 51 is the nation's leading edge center of super secret military technology, including super aeronautics and avionics, military software programs, worldwide data control system. The very fact of the name of Dreamland indicates that. Dreamland is another name for Area 51 or Groom Lake. Dreamland is actually an acronym for Data Repository and Establishment Management Land. They are keeping all data networks all around the world for future linkage by a special device known as the BEAST. As Anthony mentioned, a Battle Engagement Area Simulator Tracker. Area 51 is where they have perfected the simulation technology and hosts of amazing mind control weaponry. And all of these items is explained in this video. Something is happening, folks, at Area 51. The reason why I'm saying all this is that I would like to explain what's going on at Area 51 through a slide presentation. And if you would kindly turn the lights off, I will begin the slide presentation of Area 51, the nation's top secret facility. First of all, Area 51 is located about 120 miles north-northwest of Las Vegas. It's located under the restricted zone known as R-4808N, or sometimes E. And there is a lake called Groom Lake over there. And then about 10 miles south is another dry lake called S4, the Papoose Lake. And that's where the higher technology is concentrated. Again, this area is off limits to air traffic, including military air traffic from Las Vegas Nellis Air Force Base, which is located right next to Las Vegas. However, many times the red flag operations take place where Soviet Union and other countries' aircrafts are tested by the American pilots. But besides that, there is definitely something going on. And this is right here, Area 51. Groom Lake, there's a 50,000-foot runway right there, 50,000-foot runway. It's Groom Lake, and that name is very, very interesting, and all of these have symbolic meaning. Groom Lake. Government maps admit that there is an area called Area 51 and S4, Sector 4. But yet they keep denying that such a place exists. Groom Lake Complex. They exist. Sector 4, near Papoose Lake. This exists. Air Force maps also indicate that there is an Area 51. This picture of the facility was taken in 1968 and by a person that went into that area. And in 1968 there were parabolic antennas pointing upward. But right now it's amazing what you can see right now if you go over there. In 1968 there were some strange hangars right by the dry lake. Now these are the frequencies that are being used by the Nellis Air Force Base and also Nellis Air Force Test Range, Dreamland Military Operations Area, another name for Groom Lake area. Groom Lake Military Operations Area, also known as Watertown Strip Military Operations Area. These are all conducted by agencies such as and laboratories such as Los Alamos National Laboratory, Sandia National Laboratory in Albuquerque, EG&G Corporation, and also notice that Federal Emergency Management Agency is involved in there. We're getting ready for something big. Nellis Air Force Base has the 57th MHA. Again, the government uses some strange symbols for their covert operations. MHA is no question that it's one of the MAGI or MAJI operations, or sometimes MJ operations, or Majestic, or Majority. Now, in 1985, the government took all those lands, and that was the demarcation of limits. But in 1990, they apparently included the Bald Mountain over there and further expanded that thing. And in October, the last two public hills right near that Groom Road and the demarcation line will be closed. And the only place from where you can see right now is the hills surrounding the Groom Lake area. Again, this is the map of the Highway 375 on the right, on the top right. There's a black mailbox over there, and you cannot see the Groom Lake from there because it's conveniently covered by the Groom Mountains and the jumbled hills. These things will be mentioned again, but here is the map of the sensors. They have now sensors and other high-tech equipment on public road, dirt roads, if approaching Groom Lake area. However, these areas are all public land. We have every right to be there because our hard-earned tax dollars are there, are being used. But it's illegal to place a sensor on public land like that. October 1st, I think, is going to be the last of the free Groom Lake inspection that anyone can make. Now, this is the 1968 photo by Russia of the Groom Lake area. You can see the amazing runway over there, and then the facility to the left. Now, this was 1968. Now, imagine what they have developed right now. It's almost like a small city. And all the facilities are underground.
It's over 10 miles long.
It could be 10 miles long right now. I mean,
It's the longest runway in the world.
well, this is, of course, the longest runway in the world. This is more than 50,000 foot, okay, and it's expanding. And this is the negative enhancement of those facilities at Groom Lake. It's not a small facility. You see, you have many buildings there. Strange buildings. But most of the activities are underground right now. What you see is just from the air. So now this is the 1988 Russian satellite photo of Groom Lake, and you can see the difference between a 1968 and a 1988 photo. And you can see more developments and more extension of runways and other things that they have come up with. This is Area 51, the nation's leading edge technology center, even medical technology, because the pilots that control those amazing aircrafts that are being developed have to withstand multi-G forces. So they have to have medical technology over there to accommodate the high pressure that the pilots have to withstand. This is the picture of Groom Lake facility, and as I said, if you want to see the facility, please go up there right now up till October. That may be the last time you'll ever see. And right now it's very quiet. They're just waiting for October so that they can proceed to stage number 2. This is for the close-up of the Groom Lake facility. You have many hangars. It's a semi-dry lake over there. The government denies that this place exists. Now, in the middle, you see the airport control tower, and to the left, there is a huge hangar. I mean, way too huge for any regular aircraft. And we believe that some type of an aircraft like Aurora could be housed there. Probably 3, as he said. Well, anyway, this is probably, as I said, this is a beautiful picture of Groom Lake by night. And this is the place where a worldwide extraterrestrial event will be staged by the government to fool us all and to cause panic. They're getting ready for that operation right now. You see many lights over there, and there's a special 5 the antenna lights in the middle. Nobody knows the exact reason for those bright lights coming out from the facility over there. The mystery at Groom Lake, as reported by Newsweek magazine. In recent months, reporters and aviation buffs have stationed themselves on 2 hills on the land which overlooks Groom Lake facility. From there, peering through the long-range lenses, they can see the activities at Groom Lake, known as Area 51. They have seen up to 6 Boeing 737 commuter jets a day flying workers from Palmdale and Burbank and from Las Vegas. And they report night flights of a craft that, judging from its lights, has extraordinary maneuverability. Now, Widnow, she is the the Air Force Secretary, Sheila Widnow, was personally appointed by Hillary Clinton. Now, she is saying that the public will not be able to see Groom Lake anymore. and it's gonna pass. The hills are part of the 3,900 acre tract she's asked Babbitt to close off. This may happen in October. We had attended the Whiteside's Freedom Ridge land grab hearing in Las Vegas this year. Anthony Hilder and I were also part of that, and we protested and we spoke out against it, and CNN had us in the nightly news, CNN news, and so anyway, there were about 300 people, and 20 people spoke out, and this was an amazing thing, but they're going to close it off anyway. This public hearing was just a formality. Las Vegas Review-Journal had an article the day after the hearing. Speaker after speaker at a BLM hearing questions the plea for a buffer zone around Groom Lake site. See, they're trying to create a buffer zone to the buffer zone. It's not necessary, you see. Most Air Force bases and most military bases, you can go up to the guard shack, but not at Area 51. If you go up to the guard shack, you're already arrested. So they are trying to create a buffer zone to the buffer zone. And what will they do next? Seize all of Lincoln County? It's true. They're seizing a lot of public land right now, all over the country, in fact. Areas near China Lake are being taken away, and so I'll explain to you that furthermore. But this is the America's new secret aircraft, the purported Aurora on the left, and the TR-3A on the right, a triangular-shaped craft. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are other amazing crafts over there. Pumpkin seed program. This is an amazing new type of craft that can go up to anywhere from Mach 15 to Mach 18. Jane's Defense Weekly announced that Aurora may have a speed of 8 Machs. That means they are lying, of course. 8 Machs, that means they're lying. It's probably 16 Machs. See, it's strange that Jane's Defense Weekly, or the International Defense Review, is the world's top authority on military aircraft, on American military aircraft. Yet it's not published in the United States. It's published in England. The reason being that England is one of the centers for the worldwide secret government. The Royal Institute of International Affairs and others are part of the worldwide secret government. And no wonder Jane's Defense magazine is the world's leading authority on American secret aircraft. In the United States, there's no magazine like that, Jane's Defense Weekly. So these are the new types of aircraft. Now look at this. The Black Manta can hover up to 100 miles from its target, collecting photographs and eavesdropping. Now, most people are unaware of the fact that this April 21st of 1994, the United States of America launched a Titan IV rocket, and it was called the Aquacade. And the only purpose of that rocket being launched was to launch a satellite whose only purpose is to be able to eavesdrop on private telephone conversations from the air, from the satellite. And this article, important article, only appeared in the USA Today News, only about 3 or 4 lines. Again, this is an absolutely ridiculous thing. We are now being, they can now listen to our telephone conversations from satellites. This is the Aurora, purported Aurora, going anywhere from 8 to 15 Machs, possibly 18, 20 Machs. Now, strange thing is that whenever you see the rocket being launched in Florida, the space shuttle, did you notice that for more than 35 years they were doing the same thing? They're still using the same technology that of 35 years ago. They're using hydrogen fuel, hydrogen liquid, as a fuel to launch the rocket for space shuttle. 35 years, nothing changed, nothing. Isn't this something strange? But meanwhile, in places like Area 51, they have developed things that can actually go out of the atmosphere on its own. But the very important thing is to know that the reason for all this is that the entire civilization right now, the entire society, entire everything right now is based on oil. The oil industry is the basis of the world's economy. But they do have crafts that go 18 Machs, 18 times the speed of sound, 20, possibly 20, that can get out of the atmosphere on its own. Now, this is Anthony Hilder, and amazing photo of a satellite, the weather satellite photo, and you have an artificial object darting out. This is taken in north of the Kamchatka Peninsula, right near Soviet Union, in around 1973 or in the mid-70s. This is definitely an artificial object, not a natural object. Now, Aviation Week and Space Technology magazine came out this March 7th of this new UAV, the Unmanned Aerial Vehicle. This is by Sikorsky. And the very fact that Sikorsky is coming out of these things is an indication that it's already 100 times better ones are already here. Every time the government announces a new technology, it's already 15 to 20 years old. So when the stealth B-2 bomber was revealed in Palmdale and the Air Force invited the journalists, it was already 15 years old. And so imagine what they have right now. This is just almost like a toy compared to what they have right there at Area 51. The UAV, Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, a new series is right there. Now this is Civilian Intelligence Network group observing at the mailbox area off of Highway 375 outside of Area 51, about 20 miles away from Area 51. More and more people are going over there. This is one of the best pictures of the craft that's being test flown over there. This was taken by Gary Schultz in 1990, just about 1 week after I took a group of Nippon Television crew to that area to document the test flight. Now, when Gary took this photo, it was just a light in the distance. But when he developed it, lo and behold, it's definitely a craft. It's a disc-shaped craft, metallic. There's no question about it. They do have the technology to create that craft. See, the level of technology is so amazing right now that most people have no idea what the level is right now. You don't have to have anti-gravitational devices. You can create these things on conventional technology, by the way, and to simulate things. This was taken in 1990 by my brother-in-law of an object that appeared from the Groom Lake yonder over there behind those mountains. A brilliant object, seen from a distance of about 20 miles. This was taken by a person in Arizona who was with us in 1990 in December. The closer you get over there, the clearer the shape becomes. You see. Sometimes these craft come in front of the jumbled hills, in front of the Groom Range, but this is very unusual. Most of the time they stay beyond those mountains, but sometimes some pilots apparently, when they are receiving instructions, they just come out to the valley in front of those hills. I think I'm sure it's forbidden, but sometimes it happens. Select U.S. pilots are being given instructions. They are not test flying these things. They are just being given instruction how to maneuver these things. Now, you can see the amazing dynamics of these objects over jumbled hills. It's unbelievable how they can turn and so on. But did you know that McDonnell Douglas already developed about 15 to 20 years ago some special suit that the pilot can wear that can accommodate multi-Gs, easily 10 Gs. 10 Gs is, it's a lot of pressure, you see. Space shuttle astronauts have to endure 3 Gs, otherwise without any type of protection, you can be crushed to death by the pressure. So imagine now they can accommodate 10 Gs, maybe 20, 30 Gs. But the technology is here. Most people have no idea. Now, the International Defense Review, this is a very important section, editorial supplement to March 1991 issue, Defense Electronics and Computing. Now, here's the amazing revelation of the United States Naval Research Laboratory using the connection machines to run its BEAST, the Battle Engagement Area Simulator Tracker, a real-time space battle management simulator funded by the Strategic Defense Initiative Organization and DARPA. NRL reports that the connection machine will compute up to 7 times faster than a Cray computer, YMP, for functional equivalent optimized 3-dimensional code. Now basically what this is a supercomputer station launched in the air, and they are being readied, that will link all the world's data control networks. This is called the BEAST. And not only can they do that, can link the world's computer programs, but they can also emit hologramic images and projections in the atmosphere by the use of tri-dimensional holograms. Actually, they have the technology right now to project an image of a helicopter in the sky by 3-dimensional means. And also tanks in the mountains, they can project that image. In fact, one of those programs was used during the Gulf War. Massively comparable computing. This was in the same article, and Lockheed is also coming up with a similar connection machine, both for computational fluid dynamics. This example of CEM research shows radar reflections from a large saucer-shaped object that are computed using the physical optics approximation. Now basically, in layman's terms, these are the new types of supercomputer linking stations that will be launched and will be in orbit very shortly, possibly next year or 1996. Now this is the most popular image of a flying saucer. If you think about a flying saucer, this is the image that everybody gets. And this is the image that the government wants us to believe in. In fact, the government is saturating the mass media and the television with these UFOs as a tactic. The government wants us to believe in the alien entities and UFOs for a special reason.
Are you saying Balthazar is a plant?
Well, I can talk about Balthazar in a minute. So this is a program. If the government wants every single individual in the United States to believe in extraterrestrial entities and these crafts from so-called outer space. This is a baloney, because these things are being produced right here. LA Times reported that a group of saucer watchers were harassed by helicopters outside of Area 51. And these helicopters appear if you get too close to the borderline of Area 51. And this is a sample of 1991 harassment by the helicopter. They came almost about 5 or 10 feet above our cars as we were trying to speed away from the area. A good picture of that helicopter. You can see a man pointing some kind of a cylindrical object, and the person that saw that from the car, my passenger, swears that he was pointing a cylindrical object towards the car. I was driving the car, but he was the passenger. He took the picture.
It's probably an LSD cam, which is a device that illuminates targets with a laser beam.
Illuminates targets with laser beams. Well, all types of technology is there. Now, those helicopters and anonymous security forces are forbidden to contact or talk to the people. So they called Lincoln County Sheriff Patrols. Now, those anonymous security people at Area 51, they will scare you to death. They will come to you in their four-wheel drive vehicles. They will drive 75 miles an hour coming towards you, but they will stop about 100 to 200 feet in front of you. They will never talk to you, so you don't have to worry. They will call the Lincoln County Sheriff Patrol, and then the Lincoln County Sheriff Patrol, like that in the picture, will start asking you questions. Tonopah Test Range is the place where the new generation of stealth technology is now being tested. Now, this is a very interesting chart. It appeared only for about 3 seconds in a 1988 television program. And this indicates that there is an Area 51, and it's on the left side, it has the Parapsychology Research Unit, and then the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, and all connected to the Office of Naval Intelligence. And CIA, DIA, NSC, NSA, you name it. All of these have interconnections. And Area 51 is so important that it's in this chart. It was in a television program only for 3 seconds in 1988. Now, there's no country in the world like the United States, and I'm proud to be a United States American citizen, but I'm amazed by this country. There are more agencies than, strange agencies in the United States than any other country in the world. Some of the agencies, nobody knew about it. You have too many agencies in the United States, Defense Intelligence Agency, ONI, CIA, you name it. There's too many. And then the strange thing is that somebody missed one very important agency. That's the National Reconnaissance Office, NRO. Nobody knew about the existence of NRO until 1992. An article appeared in Los Angeles Times. Now, NRO's main purpose is to watch every individual citizen from the air. And that's going on right now, folks. There are strange black type of helicopters being spotted all across the country. And in those black helicopters are equipment that can actually detect many, many things that affects our individual lives every day. And they're increasing, and they're getting ready for something right now. NRO, nobody knew about it. But their main purpose is to control everybody from the air, as far as the data is concerned. The mysterious tremors that people were experiencing has stopped. Those tremors have stopped recently because they have come up with a new technology that they don't, they just don't want everybody to find out about this thing. So Los Angeles Times had an article mentioning about the Groom Lake area, S4. A few visitors to the remote area have told the Times of seeing flying saucer type aircraft parked on the desert in what appeared to be an Air Force attempt to duplicate flying saucer aerodynamics. This is the first time that Los Angeles Times mentioned S4 or Sector 4 programs in Nevada. This is a very, very important map of Southern California. Now, Southern California is the America's hub of aerospace industries, all surrounding the Edwards Air Force Base. You have the Northrop Secret Base, McDonnell Douglas, Lockheed facilities, all surrounding the Air Force Base. And these are the places where parts are being made that are flown or transported to Area 51. And Area 51 is the place where they assemble the parts. Also, China Lake Naval Weapons Area is over there, which is the nation's largest naval weapons testing facility. And then Area 51 in Nevada. So you can draw a straight line over there almost. And this is the path of Aurora. Now, this is a very important map. Now, Edwards Air Force Base is the nation's most important Air Force base. It's the it's the bulk of the new aircraft testing is right here. And then the parts are assembled right here. North of Edwards, in fact, Edwards Air Force Base is off limits to air traffic. North of Edwards Base is also off limits to air traffic, including China Lake Naval Facility area. And however, secret Northrop, McDonnell Douglas, and Lockheed facilities are not necessarily restricted air space. Here is the amazing Northrop secret facility at the foothills of Tehachapi Mountain. Many, many buildings. The Northrop denies that there's a place like this, but they are testing and the parts that are assembled to produce the new type of aircraft, including disc-shaped crafts. This is the Northrop facility. You don't see no aircraft in this facility, no airplanes of any kind on the runways, and they are not runways. They are some strange configurations of facilities. It's located in a private ranch. Folks, Northrop facility is located in a private ranch. There's a sign that says, "Keep cattle gate closed, private property, no trespassing." There's not a single cow in this facility. Yet the government van comes at 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m., and 11 o'clock at night. And in this government van are 3 uniformed Air Force officers and also Northrop facility driver. And they open the cattle gate and they'll go inside. And this is a secret facility that Northrop has at the foothills of Tehachapi Mountain. There's what we believe to be an elevator shaft over there, and all strange activities are going on over there. There is a 80-foot structure known as pylon, metallic structure, a white structure, upon which the flying discs are placed. We believe it's a flying disc. Also, triangular craft are being placed, and this is a picture of a triangular craft being tested. The radar absorption materials are being tested. The RAM research going on, but sometimes you can see a circular object over there. These objects appear on top of the pylon from underground. And there is a secret silo opening, and some commercial pilots have seen those silos open, and especially at nighttime they have some strange glow coming from the underground. And so during the daytime, they seem to shut that thing off. This is McDonnell Douglas secret facility located next to a ranch. This is in Llano, California. Again, in places like this, nobody suspects that there's a secret facility, but secret facilities are usually in these type of places. Ranch, cattle ranch, and so on. This is a farm area. Next to a farm. Nobody has any slightest idea what's going on. You can't see from the highway. You cannot. The Douglas facility has a strange building that's equivalent to about 3 to 4 stories high, and it moves. This building moves on the tracks, and it will cover the object that's being placed on a pylon so that nobody can see that object. Especially the activities seem to be going on at night time. This is the underground facility opening of Lockheed secret facility in Helendale. A huge structure, and a brand new highway goes into the underground facility. And you can see the hugeness of the structure, because on the left side there is a communication radio tower over there. And this entire thing, it's like a door, you know, it closes completely. There's a wheel, huge wheel that will cover that bay. You see that covering. It'll completely close off, so nobody will be able to see. Now this is the disc-shaped, not necessarily disc-shaped, but almond-shaped craft being tested at the Lockheed facility. They are again testing the radar absorption material. See, what's very important is the composite materials. The composite materials are the ones that really can change the whole thing, you see. That's this advanced technology. They cannot be detected by radars at all. This is one of the very few pictures of the actual craft at Lockheed. The diameter is about 30 to 35 feet, and then the pylon over there is about 70 feet tall. Metallic structure coming from underground. And it rotates on top of on the axis over there. This is a picture of the craft appearing from underground. The door opens and the craft appears placed on a pylon. Now, this is the southwest United States, very important area. Everything changed from 1947. Everything changed. Right before the creation of the State of Israel, something started happening on the world in 1947, 1 year before that, especially in New Mexico. Several objects allegedly crashed in several places in New Mexico, 1947 and also 1948. The one in 1948 was purportedly in Aztec, northwest corner of New Mexico. But it's my opinion right now that in 1947, this is a fact, 1947, 1946, Northrop already were testing the triangular craft, a batwing-shaped experimental aircraft. It's my opinion that in 1947, an event was staged in Roswell to selected observers for an ulterior purpose. And that created the entire Roswell situation. It could have been some kind of an experiment, possibly what I believe a mind control experience started in that area. Now, New Mexico is the place where the nation's top secret Los Alamos National Laboratories are located. And also, that's the highest concentration of observations of strange lights in the sky since 1947, especially the Four Corners area. And again, the secret government uses all types of symbology to conduct their programs. And again, in 1947, a strange highway by the name of strange title of Highway 666 was created in Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah, connecting these Four Corners area. 666, Highway 666 is the only nation's highway with that name. And this is a symbol of the secret government. They use all kinds of symbology. Again, there are many underground facilities in the United States, especially in the Southwest. Again, the state of art of technology right now is so unbelievable, yet in 1950s they had machines that could really bore hard molten lava and create tunnels, you see. Most of the transportation and communication systems from Edwards Air Force Base to the surrounding areas are done by the underground communication systems, possibly some tunnels. It's a very, very easy thing with this technology. In 1950, they already had that technology. So imagine right now what kind of technology they have. Areas surrounding Area 51, everything is transported by underground method, not by airplanes or highways. So they don't transport the sensitive materials from Northrop to Area 51 by using the highway. They go through some kind of an underground transport system. New Mexico is the place where the Los Alamos National Laboratories are located. That's the nation's top research laboratory on biogenetics, Human Genome Project, SDI, you name it. It's all concentrated right there. And those programs are actually tested in Area 51 in Nevada. And Albuquerque, of course, is the place where Sandia National Laboratories are. And then northern New Mexico is conveniently being used by Los Alamos National Laboratory and other military groups to conduct a lot of experiments, because a lot of these areas are the Indian reservation areas, and so they conveniently use those Indian areas to conduct biological experiments. Recently, a couple of years ago, they had some mysterious virus that appeared in the Four Corners areas. That's one of the, no question, one of those experiments. They have been doing this for more than 25 years. Quickly going into the another interesting announcement, Chief of Naval Operations announced that there's going to be a secret meeting close to the public on February the 18th of 1990. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss the possibility of unexpected technological breakthrough that vastly change war fighting capabilities. Unexpected technology breakthrough that could have an acute impact on naval and other military forces. You have to note that the United States Navy is the one that's controlling the whole thing, not the Air Force. The United States Navy has always been in the background of the so-called UFO phenomenon, not the Air Force. And there's a reason for it. There's a symbolical reason for it. Now, did you know that artificial blood, it says artificial blood from cow hemoglobin passes tests? It's proven right now that cow's blood could be substituted with the human blood in case of national emergencies by special purification systems. The government has been conducting these experiments since the 1970s and early 1980s by the use of many cows in the Southwest. Tens of thousands of cows were mutilated mysteriously during late 70s and early 80s, especially in Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and so on. And they were conducting some kind of blood experiments. And they had to make a cover story for these things to hide the real project. So they were creating the UFO stories to cover the real projects. Many of these cases of cattle mutilation are accompanied by appearances of strange military helicopters. Either a couple of days before the cattle mutilation or after the cattle mutilation, farmers have seen the military helicopters. This was going on since 1979, and they were experimenting on how to implant microchips in certain types of in tissues and organs by using cows. Right now, they are already they're waiting for implementation in order to implant the microchips into either circulatory systems or vital organs, part of the tissues and human organs. So they were working on this program about 25 years ago already. Now, tests of cow hemoglobins in humans okayed. Now, New Mexico is high on missing child list, by the way. This is an Albuquerque Journal newspaper. I mean, New Mexico is just an amazing place. Meeting seeks answers to mysterious problem. Why New Mexico has so many more missing children than comparable states remains a mystery. This was in Albuquerque Journal. And New Mexico is the site of biological laboratories, possibly all kinds of underground biological laboratories in northern New Mexico, as I mentioned. Now, this is a very important article that came in the Los Angeles Times. Caltech scientists now find that magnetic particles exist in human brains. Natural magnetite now are in human brains. Every individual born into this world is equipped with natural, tiny magnetic particles in the brain. And the government knew about this a long time ago. What this means is it's very frightening. They can actually control our behavior by bombarding the magnetite particle in the human brain from a distance by bombardment of certain frequency waves. Low frequency waves, ultra high frequency wave, all types of brain waves. They can actually control human behavior. Now, it's very interesting that my opinion is that, of course, God created everything. God created the wonderful human brain. God created everything. So God also created, magnetite particles because it's a nature. But human can misuse what God created. And this is what's happening. The brilliant scientists of the military have found a way to control and misuse this type of knowledge, and they have developed frequency systems that can affect the human being. The human cranium can act like a speaker, and also the human brain can be affected by certain bombardment of electromagnetic waves and frequencies. United States Naval Research Laboratory knows all about this. For example, low frequency waves can actually make a person very dull. A continuous bombardment of low frequency waves can make a person's reaction very slow. And also temporary loss of memory is possible. These were all being used. Now, did you know that the cellular frequency is exactly the same frequency as the human brainwave's frequency? Now, the human brainwave's frequency, everybody has a different human brainwave's frequency, just like a fingerprint. Each individual has a different fingerprint, but each individual has a different brainwave frequency. But everybody is between 840 to 870 megahertz. And that so happens to be the same range that the cellular telephones use. So they're getting ready to apply that mind control system by making the 800 megahertz the official cellular frequencies. There are many strange towers being built all across the country, and these are the alleged cellular frequency towers. Some strange equipment are being placed on these, attached to these cellular towers. And I think it's for crowd control. Crowd control will be needed because of federal emergency management situation coming up in next year, possibly the end of this year, who knows. But the Air Force plans radio network for use during nuclear attack, and these are the ground wave emergency network. There's a lot of these microwave networks being built, and these are all promoted by Al Gore. Al Gore is the backbone behind the creation of microwave network systems. He has stated in Congress many times that the future of the military is the microwave technology. China Lake Naval Weapons Center, that's where the mind control weapons were originally developed. Some of the more amazing mind control weaponry is the new class of weapons. For example, the low frequency emission devices, laser weapons, particle beam weapons, and image projections. In fact, they can now project an image of an Islamic god or prophet in the cloud from the ground. They can actually project that image of an Islamic prophet in the cloud during the daytime. And some of these experiments were done during the Gulf War situations. This was the International Defense Review. Non-lethal weapon puzzle for U.S. Army. And many amazing non-lethal weapons. Non-lethal weapon is the euphemism for mind control weapons. I mean, no question about it. During the time of Noriega's arrest, the mind control weaponry, part of it was used. They had a special sound device. Acoustic beams were used.
What's that picture on the top left?
That's during the invasion of Panama in December. It says here this is where the General Manuel Noriega hideout, sanctuary, see. They bombarded a lot of equipment so that he surrendered. Now, this is a very important thing right now. Los Angeles Times of this year came out with this eye in the sky, the global positioning system. Everybody knows about it right now. The GPS uses 24 satellites that could track everybody right now. It was originally intended for the SDI system, the Strategic Defense Initiative against the Russians, but actually this is intended for us, you see. There are about 985 satellites circling the Earth right at this very moment. Out of the 985 satellites, 300 are completely unknown, military.
This is what I was talking about.
Yes, this GPS now is coming to the public sector. Now, this is very important, and I think this is the last one because I'm going to reveal to you why I'm talking about all this thing, because our privacy is being taken over right now, taken away. Okay, one more right here. DIA plans global data network. I mean, this is it's understatement. This global data network is already ready. Wackenhut World Corporation is part of the security systems at Area 51, along with the special response team of the DOE. They are in charge of the security. Now, in 1991, a helicopter crashed right near Area 51. And the newspaper article stated that the helicopter crashed because of the power lines over there. But there's no power lines in Area 51. And so this is a false thing. They were trying to take some important documents and try to escape. Wackenhut the securities and also DOE people. It's right there. Wackenhut has been involved with the CIA, and by 1966, Wackenhut could confidently state that it had secret files on 4 million Americans. This is 1966. So right now we're living in a different world. Every American is being tracked right now. This is a sample of McDonnell Douglas fluid-filled suit that can help pilots withstand 10G. This came out 10 years ago, but still the technology is very old. I mean, they have amazing things right now. So this is the thing. We have to be very careful not to be deceived by any announcements forthcoming from the government, either this year or next year, regarding extraterrestrial entities or Area 51, because I'm convinced that some announcement is going to be made. The only protection we have is the spiritual protection. And I'm not talking about churches. You don't have to go to churches. But, you know, this has nothing to do with the churches. Nothing to do with religion. This has nothing absolutely to do with religion or church. It's only up to individual relationship that's going to count in the end. So that's up to you, you see. That's up to you. You can get that type of relationship individually. It's up to you. But time is running out right now. We may be about 1 minute to midnight. It could be next year. So may God bless you.
Earthquake. The pre-dawn rumbling that has confused millions of Southern Californians was the sound of their tax dollars flying by. NBC News has learned the sonic booms are coming from top-secret reconnaissance planes with revolutionary engines, codename Aurora. They look something like this. They have been tracked 5 times since last summer crossing the Los Angeles basin. Jim Morey, a Caltech seismologist, says the plane's sonic booms trigger his instruments every time.
When we see one, it seems like we see 2 of them coming in together, so it seems to be 2 aircraft flying together.
And the desert's dark nights have hidden a succession of Pentagon secrets, hidden exotic airplanes, paid for with black budgets that only a few dozen people ever see. And only a few dozen civilians ever see the planes, which are hidden at bases like this, Groom Lake, Nevada, and kept in large hangars during daylight. This is exclusive NBC News night vision video of one of those secret flying machines. Not Aurora, but something that seems to defy the laws of physics. Hundreds of witnesses have seen the bright light hovering motionless over mountains, then move quickly across the night sky at high speeds, like a flying saucer.
In his series Aurora Project, Channel 8's Byron Harris reports on one of the world's largest concentrations of secret military activity.
A strangely shaped jet contrail photographed high in the sky over Hawaii. The silence of the western desert shattered by intense sonic booms. A sprawling government airbase hidden in the Nevada mountains that's not shown on any map. All tantalizing clues that may point to a top-secret spy plane called Aurora.
At this point in time, you were observed up on the mountain up there, and it overlooks a government installation.
We are on public land in the Nevada desert, 50 miles from the nearest town. Unexpectedly, we have been stopped by the local sheriff's department.
Go ahead and cooperate with us. or you're all under arrest.
For the last day, we've been on the trail of a mystery aircraft known as Aurora and the base from which it flies.
U.S. Code.
Attendance says we may have been violating an obscure federal law in the process, although even he is not too sure what the law is.
You're not doing anything wrong, okay? All I'm trying to find out is if you have done. I'm investigating the possibility of a crime.
Eventually, we are released and renew our search. 3,500 people work and hundreds of millions of dollars are spent each year. A place so secret the federal government doesn't even admit it exists. Groom Lake, Nevada. Although it's as big as Edwards Air Force Base, California, this one has no official name. It's known as Area 51 to some, Dreamland to others. The closest civilians can approach is this mountaintop on public land more than 10 miles away. Even here, off the base, visitors are tracked from the air and the ground vigorously. But even from this distance, it's obvious this is a major facility. At dawn every morning, the Air Force brings in busloads of workers. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, 100 miles away, other employees board their own airline, known as Janet, to fly them to the base for work. 5 flights a day go from here to Groom Lake. It is a Thursday morning, the day Aurora usually flies. With us is Jim Goodall, an aerospace expert who's been watching Groom Lake for years. He's never seen Aurora, but he has heard it, a sound he says he'll never forget.
We were so taken back by the intensity of the sound that we were stunned. We just stood there. The noise was coming from 18 miles away with a mountain range in between us, and you could physically feel the noise.
A series of unusually intense sonic booms has rocked Southern California over the last 3 years. As a taxpayer, he'd like to know more about so-called black programs which are kept from the public eye. Groom Lake is their most probable home, since, like them, it technically does not exist.
And when you have no accountability, I don't care what your intentions are, when you have zero accountability and no one overlooking your shoulder to see how that money is being spent, the possibilities of abuse increase dramatically.
It's undeniable that something is going on.
Okay, I'm gonna take this one down now.
Okay. All right, we got something here.
Where?
Might just be a car.
Truck?
No, it's either.
A little light either moving up, or a big light.
That's a ship. I think it's a ship. Because what that is those are like trucks parked around it, and they're probably just running like a diagnostic or something on it, and getting ready to send it up.
Over
clear far over to the left. I mean to the right. Above the mountain.
That's it. That's one. Right there. You see that?
What? Yeah.
Over to the right. Up over the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Right there. To the right.
That's it. Okay, you guys got it. Get on your camera. That's it.
Find the damn thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough to find.
Come on, baby. You bastard. Come on.
It's moving nicely. It's 4:51. She's here. Good.
You getting this?
Yeah.
And all those other bright lights.
There it is.
Jeez. How can you see anything with it?
It went behind the mountain. There it is. There it is.
One more time. Okay. That's flying over there.
I see one.
Huh?
I see one.
Yeah. It's test flying. It's going to continue for the next stop.
Here it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's flying over there.
Yeah, it's moving back and forth.
Take a look at here. Yeah, take a look at it. It says the light. See, when I see the stars are off.
Hovering over there.
I had to put the gain on just to see it. Boy, my battery.
Yeah, right.
This isn't doing me any good.
It's like damn funny. You see it doing zigzags before?
Yeah.
It's flying all right.
You just went back and forth.
Please.
No, you did pretty good.
And now he's
こ
behind.
れはすごい。プロジェクトレッドライト。あ、今度山の
Go behind the mountain.
隠れました。現れました。 UFO と思われる物体。おお、わかりました。そーっと第3号、そーっと山の、これはすごい。エリア51、これがまさしくプロジェクトレッドライト。This is the second one. Yamango no mukou.
Military helicopter. I can't see it, but there it is. It's a military helicopter right down in front of me. Pretty amazing. Military helicopter.
An example of Lincoln County Sheriff.
しかし我々がここにいることを一体どうやって知ったのだろう。
1990 in February.
I can assure you, we're a bunch of guys with camera waiting for that light to go around.
Yeah, I can see that. What I'm going to need to do is, who's the head of the group?
I'm the head of the group.
Okay. What I need to do is maybe get some identification.
私たちがこの場所にいることが法に触れるのかどうかと尋ねても、警察官はそのことには一切答えず、私たちのパスポートから名前とナンバーをチェックすると、何事もなかったかのようにその場を立ち去った。
Usually every Wednesday night. But before they come here...
taking place in Area 51. This is 1990 when I took a Nippon television network over there by the mailbox area. February the 21st, 1990, we suddenly saw a bright object coming out above the hills. We were so surprised, and you can see the background, the excitement right there. Suddenly the object appeared, and all the cameras were on tripods. Nothing was moving. All the cameras were moving sideways, not up and down. Actually, this is what happened. Above the jumbled hills, the strange light came, and suddenly it went down, just like that. Down and then up again, and continued its path, rightward path. So this is one of the most amazing things experienced. So the camera moved from left to right, but not from up to down. Now this is the movement of sideways, and then suddenly the object disappears in midair, and then comes up again, right now. This amazing video was taken by Nippon Television Network again. This was in May of 1990. Suddenly a strange reddish object appeared over the mountain, and people are getting out of the van. The television crew is getting out, and they set up the camera right there. Actually, they didn't set up the camera. Now you can see the amazing movement of that reddish object making some kind of a jump. They're so surprised by this, and again they're going to indicate the second by second replay, where it clearly shows the sudden position of the change. 1/30th of a second, the object moves down, actually. Once again, instantaneous location. Again, you can look at this film, suddenly change the position 1/30th of a second. One of the most amazing things. Once again, going down like that, jumping.
We're going to pan it further. A bright object is being spotted right there. Suddenly.
Metallic and shining.
Metallic and shining. Anthony Hilder is confirming right now. This is just about the same area that I saw a similar metallic object, definitely floating around, and we're witnessing right now, 9:58 a.m., March 1st, 1994. This was just unexpected. It's still right there. As you can see, way yonder, along the fence, and this is the very same area where several years ago a tremendous sighting took place, and I'm just completely baffled right now. So is Mr. Anthony Hilder. I'm going to move the camera.
Near Edwards Air Force Base, a close-up appears to show a road leading to a large set of doors, all part of an alleged series of underground complexes from California to Nevada.
There's basically a high-security corridor that runs essentially from Edwards to that area, and almost the entire piece of geography in between those 2 points is off-limits.
Example of one of the many objects seen regularly in Las Vegas, some unidentified craft seen. This is one of the pretty good ones, taken early, actually around 5:30 p.m. Just outside of Las Vegas. Very bright object, just basically hovering over Las Vegas. 5:30 p.m., as I mentioned, just slowly approaching this area near residential area, but you can see the size of it. It's almost like a globe. A very interesting footage taken a few years ago near a residential area outside of Las Vegas. So definitely not a star or anything like that. This is a very interesting daytime sighting of a strange cylindrical object, a craft. We believe it could be some kind of an observation platform or unmanned aerial vehicle, the UAV that's being tested in Nellis Test Range, possibly, and other locations. A daytime sighting near a residential area. Some really amazing thing. These are 2 helicopters right near flying by, but an interesting footage. You can see some kind of a bird flying quickly below, I think. It's just motionless, just hovering. So there you see some kind of a bird flying underneath. An interesting footage. daytime footage. A similar cylindrical object was sighted in England during the early 1990s near Crop Circle, by the way, a cylindrical object. But this one was taken near Las Vegas, Nevada, just staying motionless, hovering over a residential area in Las Vegas. This is a very interesting footage taken in Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, suddenly an object appears almost near that building. This was taken from Hotel Rio in Las Vegas. An object appears suddenly, and this was at the time of a lightning. There was a lightning and thunder that night in Las Vegas. You can see the lightning, and then the object appears to be approaching, and you can see the lightning. And what's amazing is that in a few more minutes we will show you the enhancement of this photo. Very interesting enhancement. The object right now is moving slightly towards the right of that building. That's another hotel in Las Vegas. Well, this is an enhancement of that object by Asahi Television in Japan. To its great astonishment, the object, again, this footage was sent to Japan, TV Asahi, where they enhanced this picture by computer, and lo and behold, you can see the windows, what look to be windows. This footage was sent to TV Asahi in Japan, where they enhanced that image, and you can clearly see what looks like windows and also rotating. The entire object seemed to be rotating, so it's something that's really strange, this disc-shaped craft.
Start. 7, 6. We have main engine start. 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of Discovery and the first flight to retrieve and return satellites from space, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Tower cleared. The vehicle now turning around to the proper azimuth to go down track on this flight. Trim height, 6/10 of a mile. All ECUs running at normal speed. Main engines all running at normal pressures.
Seconds. Downrange distance 2 nautical miles. Altitude 3.9 nautical miles. Velocity 2,200 feet per second. 3 engines at 67%. Passing through the period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. Beginning throttle up back to 104%, the nominal throttle setting for this mission.
turn around. I know that sound. It carries her name. The king who loves mystery can come this very night.
Welcome to the Paradigm first series of tapes, which is our audio-video series. Hopefully, before you watch this video, or during the time you're watching it, you'll also listen to the 18 hours of audio tape series that's marketed with this package. And the reason for this is that there's a tremendous amount of audio information, and the reason that we're only using a small amount of video and a lot of audio information is that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So for every video frame, there's going to be 1,000 words of audio tape in the audio series that goes into great detail about the things you're going to see. The first things we're going to get into is the Area 51 secret government test vehicles, which are very similar to the Belgian ships. The Belgian ships, I just recently came back from Holland, and the Belgian ships were seen over there for several days, but the news media suppressed it after the first day and a half, and the people locally wondered why, even though they were continuously seeing them, it wasn't in the news anymore. And this is because of the mass suppression all over the world. There's some tremendous activity now also in Russia. But I'm sure that most of you that have bought this video know well by now that there's tremendous amounts of suppression of UFO information. It's real interesting in the fact that there's a new group that was formed in Colorado by the Air Force recently to do some more studies. It was formed in 1987, and it does nothing more basically than cover up the actual Area 51 experimentations and activities. We've also been into Dulce, but we won't be showing any Dulce on this videotape series. We will probably in the concurring ones. Also, a good friend of mine who's a record producer, his name is David Tickle, was...
1990, I drove to Stonehenge on my way to Glastonbury from Guildford. And it was just, I was just making a home video. When I got to Stonehenge, I was filming the stones and the mounds around Stonehenge. These mounds particularly interested me because they thought that they were burial mounds. They never found any bones or relics inside of these mounds, so they really don't know quite what they were. One of my theories on what they were was that maybe a long time ago something landed and the natives or the Stone Age people emulated what these craft may have looked like by building these huge mounds around Stonehenge. While I was filming this just for my home video, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon and a light appeared in the sky. Now, I've been to Stonehenge many times at night and seen many strange lights flying around the sky. These amber-coloured lights, which the locals call amber gamblers. But I've never seen anything during the daytime. And on the piece of footage you're about to see was just how I captured it, as this light dropped out of a cloud and moved quite strangely in the air. People were around me wondering what I was filming and couldn't see it, but fortunately enough, the film captured it.
Did you film anything else that was a contrast to what it might have been or what it could have been?
I was able to see a helicopter in the distance flying by at a fairly low altitude, which I was able to film. It had a strobe light on it as well. Remember, this is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the piece of footage of the helicopter, you can see, when you compare the light that I saw with the helicopter, they're absolutely no comparison. Well, that's the first time I've ever seen a light around these hills during daylight. Your guess is as good as mine at what it was. We have it. There it is again. I've got a shutter speed of 4,000 right now. What it is, I don't know what that light is. Gone again. Well, I've never been able to see anything like this before in daylight, these lights, and that one appeared twice in the same place. We're very lucky.
This is the voice of Dr. Fred Bell. I'll be speaking with Bob Schott. And this amazing evidence came up during the editing portion of this series. And we're going to see a master ship here. And we're also going to see, if you're very careful, the actual energies that make the crop circles. And later on in the video, what you're going to see is some of the crop circles, and I'm going to interpret some of them. The Andromedans have already come into our lives while we were making this tape series, and they have given us a tremendous amount of information. So now I'm going to turn this over to Bob Schott at the first part here, because he was one of the first chief editors to notice the additional phenomenon. And watch the grass. There's things going on in the grass. There's things going off on the hill on the right. There's a lot of things happening. We're editing this frame by frame. David Tickle used a very high-quality Sony camera to do this. And if you look at the top right now, there's ships moving around on the top. Look at that streak right there, for example. Now I'm going to turn this over to Bob. That was one frame as a ship went through the frame.
When we first edited this, there was about a 15-second regular running speed. You could only see one beam ship in the distance. It looked like about, half a mile away. Then you could see two objects come from the lower right of the screen, which would go at about a 45-degree angle up. Now the object that is blinking in and out you're seeing this only because what we did was stopped it and frame by framed it. There are 30 frames per second in the video. So by framing a frame by frame portions of this, you can see the objects as they occur. At the top of the screen, you can see it blinking in and out. And at that kind of a distance, you're talking at a tremendous rate of speed. And you will see, at the lower portions of it, you will see objects coming from the mound that's over at the mid-center to the right of the screen. And over by the clump of trees to the left, you will see objects coming up shortly. There seems to be one beam ship which hasn't been presented for computer analysis yet, but it looks to be like a control of some sort. Whatever that object would be, it would be controlling. You'll see this coming up to where the ship will flash, and up to the upper right of the screen, you will see another object blinking in and out as the other one blinks. And we have counted over 6 different objects coming out of this frame-by-frame sequence that you're looking at now. As I say, there are 30 frames per second, and to the human eye, you cannot see these unless we did stop it and frame-by-frame it. So this is why it's taking so long. But the tremendous rate of speed, 122 miles an hour, will split frames on a video, but that's only provided if it's at screen distance. These objects appeared to be a half a mile or so, or possibly more in the distance. This was presented to us by David Tickle, and when we got it, we stopped it, and we spent about 5 or 6 hours examining all the evidence that's in here. We do want to send this for computer analysis. Now, if you'll look down to the center of the frame, down in the clump of trees and the hills off to the distance, you'll see what looks like 3 objects coming out of it that is resting there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this back over to Fred, because this will continue to run, and keep your eyes on the upper left-hand portion of the screen right there. You just saw an object blink in. Okay, it will be at about 11 o'clock. Now, if on your home VCRs, you can back this up and you can do it yourself. Now, the object is at noon. You have to watch this very carefully. You want to watch the upper 90% of the screen, and you want to watch the hill to the right. Now there's one in the center. Just keep your eyes on the screen. Perhaps you may see something that we didn't see, and we invite any comments that you have. We welcome any comments that anybody has on any viewpoints of what they're watching here that maybe is something that we didn't pick up when we're watching this. Okay, there was one that blinked out at about noon. Now those 3 objects, there was one that blinked out at the hills in the foreground. There's a little V over there at the foreground to the left. Okay, now there's some action down in the mound over by the left center, and there's one coming across the screen right now from right to left. It's going up at about 45-degree angle, and it just went out to the top of the screen. These objects continue to hover around this particular area. And you will see shortly a lot better what I call the control ship, because it seems to hover over the upper 80% to the left of the screen. After a few minutes, you'll see it. Now there's one over to the right at about 1 o'clock at the top 90% of the screen. You will probably want to rewind this several times and watch this. There are some very interesting things coming up towards the end of it. It gets a little bit more active. You will also see, because this was not broadcast quality equipment, this was not a Betacam, or it was not Ikigami 3/4 inch. It was on a high quality. It was on a high quality Sony commercial usage. So that now you're seeing what we call the control ship. Now, if you look up to the upper left of that on occasion, and over at about 2 o'clock, you'll see objects blinking in and out. You see this object blinking? As it blinks out, pretty soon you'll see another object blink in. We don't know what the significance of that is. All we can do is speculate. And right at this point, I don't want to speculate on why that's happening. It's not a balloon. There was another one at about 11 o'clock. Notice it is blinking in and out, meaning this is, as you're watching this, keep in mind, this is very important. You are watching this frame by frame, meaning 30 seconds, 30 frames per second. Now there's one directly above it that just blinked in and out. So that for this to blink in and out and become invisible, or whatever this object is doing, it has to be doing it at a tremendous rate of speed, and there has to be some tremendous amount of energy involved here. Notice it blinking in and out. Now you may not be able to see it on your copy, but above it there's an object that's barely blinking in and out of it. It may be at a greater distance. And also off at 10 o'clock one occurred, now one at 12, going off to the right of the screen. Now there's one at 11 o'clock of the object. Keep this, there's one at 1 o'clock of the control object. Now it's at about 1:30 of it. Now it's going directly horizontal across the screen. These are not video noise signals. These are not special effects. We do not, at this point in time, know exactly what is causing this. We do know that it's not natural. It's not an object that we have. It's not anything that the government has created. We don't have any objects that can do that to our knowledge. Now there's one over at the center. Keep your eyes peeled on the 90% portion of the screen from left to right, and over to the right of your screen now, coming very quickly. See it jumping? It has jumped. The distance that it has jumped, you're talking a half a mile in the background, is a tremendous rate of speed for the distance it's jumping at. It is blinking in and out, which means it's either blinking in and out or it's splitting the video, either one. Since we don't know the exact distance of the object yet because it hasn't gone through computer analysis, it's very difficult for us to give you a precise readout of this. The reason you're getting it now is because we wanted to include this. This was one of the delays on getting this tape to you. We knew that you would want to see this exclusive footage. This has never been before seen. There are no photographs of this. This has not been shown on the news as of we speak. So you are looking at something that has originally been presented to us immediately. Now, if you look at the field, you're going to have to look quickly. There will be some video noise in the field from duplication, but there are objects on our initial analysis and run-through of this that will come from the field, and they will go from the lower 25% portion of your screen, which would be in about the midfield, up to the upper left of the screen. Keep your eye on the control ship. Now over to the right, there's an object. See the object blinking in and out at about 2 o'clock of the control ship. Now the control ship is completely blinked out. Now it's back on again. Now the other ship is on at about 2 o'clock. Now, like I say, that could be one of two things. Either it is blinking in and out. Fred has a much better description. He suggested possibly, as the Area 51 footage that you'll be seeing, an interdimensional possibility, or it is skipping the video, which means if it is skipping it on a frame-by-frame slowdown, it's really traveling at a tremendous rate of speed. There will be objects coming up from the foreground shortly. I'm going to turn this back over to Fred now because he'll have a few comments.
You're going to probably wind this back and forth because even while we edited it moves so fast that every time we look at it, we find something else. And we'll have 2 or 3 people in the editing room, and they'll all see something else. Now, when it comes time to understand how these crop circles are being made, there's a couple birds flying across now, and they're fairly close. If you look, when you rewind it, and you look at the very beginning, you'll see the birds fly across and how quick they were. And they were very close in the foreground, but when you watch it live, because realize this is taking almost 10 minutes to edit slow, and it only took about 30 seconds to film it. So we're stretching into 30 seconds, 10 minutes of video events. As a contactee, I've learned to see things in the sky with my naked eye that most people would never see. It's a matter of training. For example, if you were to close your eyes and suddenly, remember all the blue objects in a room, and just close your eyes and remember all the blue objects in a room, and then try to hold that in memory, and then open your eyes up, and then close them again, and then open them up again and try to remember all the brown objects in the room, and then open them up again, and then close them again. Here comes the field object now. First one, it's on the right. It just came off the hill. It's right in the middle of the screen. This, we believe, is a smaller object, and it probably moves through the grass, and it knocks it down to make these things. It's moving back and forth, as you can see it. It's coming over now. And it's starting to lift up, and one is taking off in the middle of the screen behind the trees. One is up. There's 3 objects there. If you see the one coming through the trees, it's halfway up through the trees now. It's coming up almost to the top of the trees, and now it's lifting up. Yeah, now what we did now is we reversed it for a second, and we're holding it. We've frozen it, and we're reversing it back and forth so you can see it better. So you can see 3 objects. They're going back and forth in the frame reversal. Now we're moving forward again with it, and you can see them lifting off and coming into the sky. And you can see one of them disappear, reappear, another one comes up, and now a third one is coming up from the tops of the trees. The control ship blinks in and out, and usually when it's out, the other objects are brighter. When it's in, they're dimmer, so it has some control over it. And they're lifting up now. Now we reversed it one more time for clarity. This, we think, is some of the hottest footage in the world. You may want to go back and rewind it because those objects that you see in the sky now started, between where the trees hits the mound. Now realize this is the Salisbury Plain in England. It's a very famous place. It's full of energy ley lines. Very famous place. One of the most powerful vortexes of ley lines in the world. And it might be the possibility that these vortexes are being used by these craft as part of their propulsion systems. These vortexes have tremendous healing powers, and they have temples and churches built all across England. And it's quite common knowledge in England about these forces. They've been measured. They have a pulse rate of about 4 pulses per second. There's another ship in the sky. So these ley lines are pulsing about 4 or 5 times per second. They can be measured by dowsing and other types of equipment now. More activity in the sky. There's a tremendous amount of activity in this. And we've had certain scientists look at it. It's baffled them very much. And it's being submitted now to some people in England to further their analysis of the crop circles. Now, just in a minute, you're going to see the objects in the grass. They're very small and extremely fast. That's what we're waiting for now. There goes one. It just went through. I think I remember I rewound it, and there it goes again. It's right in the center. It's a white object. Back and forth. You can see it move to the right and then to the left. About 30% of the screen is left. When it goes back, I reversed it a couple of times to show that. Yeah, there it is again. Now it's frozen. And now it's frozen and moving back and forth. We're reversing it back and forth to show you what's there. That's one frame difference. We're reversing it back and forth. We have a device on our tape recorder, on our editing deck that you can turn. It's a knob. So it's very easy to control this. This is definitely not a glitch on the film. It is an object that was very close to David, moving at extreme high speeds that he didn't even see because he was looking up in the sky. And this object, we believe, is controlled from the ship in the sky and is responsible for the pushing down of the grass and the maneuvering of the artwork in the circles.
There's an object at the middle of the screen. Okay, now what you're getting into is Area 51 footage. What you're about to see is never before seen footage over Area 51 taken by Sean Morton. I'm going to let Fred explain this to you because it reminds him of the ship that he had experiences with, what he calls, it looks like the Belgium ship. You're going to see a close-up of it here coming up very shortly, and this was taken at a distance of approximately 4 miles with a 6:1 zoom. Again, this was not taken by a standard broadcast quality camera, but you're going to see something that looks very, very good. Now, there are 3 objects coming in and out of here that you're looking at right now. And I'm going to pass this over to Fred because this is where one of the ships appears that it may be coming interdimensionally.
When we were in Belgium, we were just over there in 1991, right there. It's moving very fast, this ship here. We saw a very similar ship in Belgium. It was on the news over there. It was also on the American news, but we didn't get permission to reprint it here because we decided to use only our own footage. And it's going to blink back to the left in a minute. Also, in some of the Billy Meyer footage, it behaved the same way. Now, this we believe is a joint alien Grays and United States government technology, secret government technology. We noticed in Belgium, we talked to the people over there when we were there, and we found that what they had said is that they'd seen it on television, it was in the papers for about 1 day. The second day it was as if nothing had happened. Nobody even mentioned it as far as the news media. It was censored so fast. Even the Belgian Air Force had made comments that it was the objects way beyond anything they'd seen in their radars before. Yeah, this is taken at Groom Lake, Area 51, which you'll see some daytime footage in a few minutes following this.
Now you're going to see a close-up of this ship. This was taken close to Bald Mountain out by 375 over Area 51.
As we fly across Era, 500 feet above the surface.
There it is.
At a leisurely 200 kilometers per hour.
It looks like there are some energy transferences going through the center of it. Now, whether or not that's cloud activity or not, we don't know. We're not sure. Now, here is a ship that's coming in at Area 51. This is exclusive footage taken by Sean Morton. And this was taken at night. There are dust particles in the air, but that is clearly an unidentified object of some sort. It does, however, take the pattern of a plane landing, but it's far too bright for that.